The world champions having mentors, coaches, consultants, counselors. I can guarantee you, though, that most of us who have these people in our lives, we are not taking full advantage of their presence. And it all comes down to one thing: asking good questions. It's so easy to look at people like mentors, coaches, counselors, consultants, teachers, professors, anybody like that, and we look at them as example setters, okay? We look at them and we expect them to simply tell us to do something. Give me the info. Teach me something. Give me valuable information. We expect them to hold the keys to life and success, and all they simply need to do is give it to us. The difference between an effective relationship in this capacity, though, and an ineffective relationship, is the simple act of asking questions and asking good questions. Questions, they just make all the difference in the world. So how do questions help you invest in yourself, right? That's what this whole series for the month of March is about, is investing in yourself. How do questions help you with that? So number one, they force you to get clear about the problems that you're having. You can't go very far. If you have absolutely no idea what your problems are, right? And I've been there where it's like, I don't know what the issue is. I need help. I need to figure out what the issue is so that way I can move forward. Developing questions, that forces you to take an honest look at the situation that you're dealing with and to name the problems that are giving you a hard time. The second thing is that questions customize the experience. We all want a custom experience, right? If you want a custom experience, you ask a question. When you ask questions, people understand precisely what you need, right? It isn't this general information anymore. Now it is, oh, that's what you came to me for. That's what you need help with? Got it. I can do that for you. And they're able to help you better. They're able to meet your need, or they're able to find a way to help you meet your need, right? They're able to help you find solutions. They're able to direct you in a certain way. Again, instead of general knowledge, you get curated, intentional action steps that are perfect for the situation that you have at hand. And the third thing is that your weaknesses become your strength. A lot of people don't ask questions because they don't want to admit weakness or inadequacy. When you're honest about it, though, and you say, I don't know this, you do, help me understand, well, you can stop playing games, right? You can stop playing the game of proving yourself and proving things that you don't actually have, and start actually progressing forward, start actually moving forward. There's nothing weak or stupid about not knowing something. Like, nobody knows everything. We don't know what we don't know. And the quicker that we are able to accept that and own that and okay, if I don't know everything, then what don't I know? I need to, right? I need to learn that. It's a lot easier, effective, and beneficial, right? That is way more beneficial to own the fact that you don't know something and that, oh, you might be a human being, right? Actually make progress. Instead of pretending that you know everything, own that you don't and learn the thing. Now, there is an added, extra, super juicy element to asking questions that oftentimes gets ignored, okay? And this is what's going to further you or invest in your career, we're going to say. It's going to further you in your career. Asking questions honors the person you're asking. Asking questions honors the person you're asking. Asking a question basically says, hey, you're better than me, you're smarter than me, you have way more experience than me, and I believe that you are way wiser and way more knowledgeable, and I think that your mere existence is going to help me thrive. That is what asking a question does. When somebody asks you a question, there is no bigger honor. There is no bigger respect, right? When I get asked a question, it's like, oh wow, you trust me enough? You believe, you think that highly of me. I would rather be asked a question than receive a medal, receive a plaque, receive some sort of a certificate of achievement. No, I would much rather have people ask me questions, because when they ask me questions, that signals to me, hey, you respect my response, right? You respect what I know. So let's break down how honoring the other person in this capacity will actually help you invest in yourself, right? Well, number one, brownie points, okay? Brownie points, it's sort of like a joke term in everything. Asking questions puts you at the top of somebody's mind. It puts you at the top of their mind. They feel valued by you, right? And so they value you. They think highly of you because you thought highly of them. They respect you because you took the time and you were intentional enough to try and understand a part of their world, right? You asked questions like, I know you're good at this, and I really want to understand part of your world, even if you're not in their world. You tried to understand them. You tried to understand their world. Like, oh, honey, there is nothing more. Oh, like, you want to understand me? Like, okay, like, absolutely, right? Second is the network. If you have question asker brownie points, you're not just a contact in their phone anymore. You become a recommendation. You become a recommendation. It's no longer just, oh, I was talking to this person and they do this. No, it's this person is incredible, right? Like they're intrigued, they want to know about you, they ask you questions, they're engaged with like what you do, they want to know more about what you do, right? They feel honored by you, and so they want other people in their network to feel honored by you. They know people that it's like, oh, they could benefit from a person who asks questions like this. Not only that, but they want to honor you back, right? They want to honor you back because you showed them so much honor. Now, that is a network. That is a network. This isn't just, oh, hey, here's my business card. This is a relationship now because you're asking questions. And the third thing is that you grow when you don't know. This is such an incredible way to build your bit network and your business. And it's simply done by not knowing things. Like, I think so many people start believing that it's like, well, in order to be successful, I have to be like super smart and I have to like know it all and I have to be a master, right? No, they're the master, right? They like being the master. Other people like to be the master. Yes, absolutely. You need to master something, right? Like you need to be the master of something. But let them, like not everything. Let them be the master of what they do. And you ask them questions. They like it. You just elevated them. You just elevated them simply by asking a question, and they like it. Okay? They like it. And that's what builds a network. That's what builds a network. And when they see that it's like, oh, this person owns the fact that they don't know things. Like this person isn't out here trying to impress people. This person's out here trying to understand people. Well, you know what that does? That puts your name on their list. This goes right along the lines of being a recommendation from them, right? That you get recommendations from them. Having contacts on your list, like that's powerful, right? Like, oh, I know this person, I know that person, I could reach out to them and whatever. You want to be a contact on their list, okay? The moment you are a contact on their list, unstoppable. They start sharing you. This is word of mouth. This is growth. That is what asking a question can do for you. You are invested in learning and understanding. They see that, they appreciate that, and they want to share that with the people that they know. How do we start asking good questions? This trips people up, and it takes a little bit of practice to get good at asking questions. There are a few different approaches that I personally like to take when I'm developing good questions, and I encourage you to use all three approaches, whether you're making a list of questions in advance, which I highly recommend doing for a lot of situations, right? Interviews, career fairs, new meetings, right? New clients, whatever. Have a list of questions, or if you're asking questions on the fly, okay? I recommend these approaches for either of those. So the first approach is to focus on what you do not know. A lot of us, whether we're in a casual setting or a professional setting, we like to focus on, well, this is what I know. This is what I know. So how can I expand what I know, right? We just like try to continue knowing more about that thing that we know. Well, there's only so much to know about that thing that we know. In order to ask good questions, you need to think about the things that you have absolutely no idea about. Like, well, what's that? Like, I don't know what that is. Stop trying to stroke your ego by asking questions about the things that you know, and instead say, well, I don't have any darn clue about this. Can you help me understand that? Right? Like, tell me more about this. Going to an interview? What don't you know? Going on a date? What don't you know? Meeting a client for the first time? What don't you know? Going to a career fair? What don't you know about the people who you are planning to talk to talk with. To put it plainly, you need to like really lean into the fact that you're an idiot, right? I mean, the number of times it is like, okay, I'm an idiot. I'm completely in the dark. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with this. So I need you to help me. This works all the time with any of my clients, is the moment that it's like, listen, I have no idea what you are talking about. No idea what you're doing. I have no idea, right? Like, I am brand new to your industry. I am brand new to your work. Like, I know nothing. And the moment I lean in on that and I ask those questions, they light up, they engage, they start to understand where I am, I understand who they are, and then we're able to actually get some work done, right? Ask simple questions, ask deep questions. Consider questions that you would add on to both of those kinds of questions. Second is sort of a mind frame and a mindset that I like to take on when I'm going into new situations. And this is that I like to see encounters as a way to understand a person better. As a business consultant, I go into a lot of meetings like pretty much in the dark, right? Like I have no idea what somebody wants from me. I have no idea, the things that they're looking for. I have no idea about their industry and their work, right? Like I have very little knowledge about that kind of stuff. And that can be a little nerve-wracking, right? It can be a little nerve-wracking to go into a situation and be like, I don't know what I'm doing, right? I have no idea what I'm doing. So instead of looking at it and saying, well, I'm just going to look like an idiot because I don't know anything, right? Instead, look at it as I'm here to know this person better, right? Like I'm curious. I'm curious about who this person is. I'm curious about what they do. I'm curious about their industry and their work. I'm curious and I want to know them better, okay? This stops becoming a moment where you are in the spotlight and it feels like all of your inadequacy is, front and center. And instead, it is an engagement where you are able to dig in and you're able to say, okay, I'm trying to know you better. You're trying to know me. Absolutely. I'm here for it. Try to know me, but I'm really trying to know you, right? And so when you engage with that, when you lock in and say, you know what, I'm trying to learn just as much as they're trying to learn about me. So I'm going to ask those questions. I'm going to dig in. I'm going to be curious and I'm not going to be afraid of looking like an idiot. And not only that, but this makes me like a much more effective listener instead of constantly being like, oh, like I need to, right? Like I need to be on my best behavior and like have this good impression. Instead, it's like I'm an active listener. I'm an effective listener because it's like I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to engage and I'm trying to know who this person is. And so it makes me more effective and it makes me more active. I encourage you to use this in all situations, but I mean, I've used it in job interviews. I've used it, like I said, meeting with clients. I mean, just use this strategy and this sort of approach to conversation and asking questions. And I mean, you will just engage far better. You will learn a lot more and you will ask good questions because you're engaged. The third thing that I want you to think about as you are developing your questions is to ask yourself, what are the dumb questions? What are the dumb questions? Sometimes the dumb questions are the questions we need answered the most. And while I don't think that you should be pelting people with, little tiny questions, like don't pelt people, but sometimes it's just very refreshing to receive a question from somebody that it's like, I genuinely don't like, this feels a little dumb, this feels a little silly, but I don't know what you're talking about, right? Like, or I don't know what that word means, or I've never, I'm completely in the dark. Asking the dumb questions sometimes is like the key to making the progress, right? And not to mention it just stimulates a little bit of conversation, right? Like, oh, well, understanding where you are actually, or it's just, I know this is probably a dumb question, and they were like, yeah, that is sort of a dumb question, but hey, I get it, right? Like, you don't know what you don't know. So, lastly, just to piggyback off of that idea of dumb questions, and I need a drink of water. A major reason why people don't ask questions is typically because they're afraid to. They're afraid to ask dumb questions. They're afraid of looking dumb. They're afraid of being called dumb, or they're afraid of getting into trouble. You don't know how I can't tell you how many, young people have come up to me or, we're in a group setting and they ask a question and they're like, I'm sorry, right? Like, I'm sorry. Like they're afraid of getting in trouble for not knowing something. I completely understand all of those reasons. Okay, I completely understand all of those reasons. So a little bit of a story time here. Okay, grab your tea. grab your popcorn, settle in. So when I was a freshman in college, I was petrified by the thought of asking a question. I wasn't scared of my professors, although there was one professor who really suffered from nasty not niceness, but we're not talking about him. In general, I was not afraid of my professors. What I was afraid of, what I was petrified of, was looking like an idiot. I had it in my mind that I needed to prove myself and I needed to prove my intelligence and my capability because I was a girl. That wasn't true, right? And I'm a firm believer that if you're trying to do something, stop trying to prove it, just do it. But I was obsessed with proving myself. And in the end, because I didn't ask questions, I lacked the knowledge and the intelligence that I was desperately trying to prove that I had, right? I kept trying to prove to my peers and to, my friends and to my professors that it's I am brilliant. I'm just so nerdy and so smart and so intelligent and all this stuff. And because I was just so caught up in trying to prove that, I failed to actually do that. The lack of questions really started catching up with me in my sophomore year. Thankfully, it hit me pretty soon. It didn't, it wasn't like my senior year and I realized, right? No, my sophomore year, I was having a hard year. I was failing tests. I was struggling in classes. I was just struggling with grades. It was not good. It was very not good. Junior year, I finally said, Ellison, this is stupid. Ask the freaking question, okay? Ask the question. I started asking questions boldly in class. Even the ones that I felt like I should know the answer to this, right? I should definitely know what this person is saying. I should know what this guy's saying. I should know what this lady's saying. I should understand this completely, but I don't. So I'm going to ask the question. And I started going and talking to my professors, asking them one-on-one my questions. In our class, okay, in our class, I went to school for accounting and finance, and, we were actually a pretty energetic group of nerds. And we all sort of joked and teased and, prodded and poked fun at each other and everything like that. I got teased one or two times for going and saying I'm going to go talk to the professor. I'm going to go ask them this question and I'm going to ask for extra help. I'm going to get extra help. I got the classic, oh, you're a teacher's pet or, all that kind of good stuff. And finally, I just said, hey, I don't understand and I want to, right? I don't understand. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure it out on my own when I literally have a genius down the hall who can help me. That, to me, that's dumb. Okay. That's dumb. When you have access to brilliance and you refuse to use it, right? You refuse to take advantage of it. There's nothing wrong with having questions. There's nothing wrong with having questions, and there's nothing wrong with not knowing. The only questions that you will consistently run into issues with are the questions that you do not ask. When you don't ask questions, that will always hurt you. That will always hurt you, especially when you have a question that is burning, right? Burning. I wish I knew this, and the answer is sitting right there. Ask the question. Ask the question. This week, I challenge you to sit down and write down some questions. Just write down questions, okay? Think about the people in your life that you want to learn more about. Think about the people that you struggle having small talk with. Write down your questions. Start asking them. I think that you will be amazed by how much people engage with and enjoy the fact that you ask questions. Like I said, I love being asked questions. So do not diminish the power of asking somebody a question, because decent people like to be asked questions. This is the final video in my Invest in Yourself in 2026 series for the month of March. If you have missed any of the previous videos, I have them all in a playlist for you so you can go and watch them. So yes, definitely go back and watch all of them. I am all about making and building businesses that you are passionate about, that you love, that you enjoy, but that allow you to enjoy your life, that allow you to sustain and maintain a beautiful life, a life that you love, and a life that you are passionate about. So definitely subscribe if you want to go down that rabbit hole a little bit. I hope to see you next month for our Health as a Independent Business Owner series.